All right. Good morning, everybody. I hope that all is well. Good to see you all in the Zoom room. My name is Shauntee Randle, and by day, I'm an educator. By night and on the weekends, I do some work with this really wonderful organization called Touch Your Foundation, who is sponsoring not just this event, but this full series. So this is the Sizzle and Shine, our summer series that is dedicated to leadership development, workplace skills, leadership development, workplace skills, just skill building in general. So I believe we still have our founder on the call right now, Miss Kiona Owens. So if we could give her a virtual round of applause for being the mastermind behind this full series. But we all have such a treat for you all today. We have none other but Serita Love, success junkie herself.
that will be giving us all the tea, all the gems about unlocking our potential in professional development pathways. So I am gonna hand it over to her because she has a lot of stuff. I follow her on social media for all the things, and she's so humble. I'm just hype you up, and then you tell people all the wonderful things. But she's so humble. But when I say she's in the community, she's literally all over the world. Just really inspiring, empowering people and their brand and efforts. So just been able to witness some of her journey, and it is very inspiring to me. So I pray that you all are completely inspired, and I know you will be by the end of this. So I'll hand it over to Miss Serita Love.
Hey y'all, look, thank you so much, Shauntee. I am going to pull up a presentation in a moment, but I got to give you guys a heads up with this being a early Saturday morning. Like, look, and we're virtual, so I love coexisting with people in physical rooms. So I want this to feel as intimate as possible. So if you are able to come off the screen, I would love, love, love to see your face on the right side of the screen. But if you cannot, that is understandable. But sometimes it just really feels good to just see people's responses. I'm big on communication. So nonverbal, a lot of times we pay attention to what people say. I pay a lot of attention to what people don't say. So if I can see you, feel free to come off the screen. If you're busy, feel free to leave a comment in the chat. But I am going to be encouraging you all to engage because this is about you. I'm not going to speak at you. I am going to share, experiences, but this is going to be a two-way dialogue. And I'm like super, super excited about it for countless reasons. Thank you once again, Shauntee, for just saying, you've seen different things, but I always like to let everybody know, especially if you're from the Chicagoland area, but if you're from anywhere else, you probably have heard about this space and nationally as well. But I'm from 73rd and Wood in Chicago, Illinois, which is Inglewood. And growing up there as a young girl, I saw all of the worst case scenarios. So I saw the drug use, I saw the crime, I saw the violence, I saw the sexual abuse, I saw all of the worst case scenarios. And even before a certain tragedy hit my front doorstep at 9 years old, there was a decision I made at 6, 7, 8 years old. And it was, I'm not going to be a product of this environment. I am not going to be what I see. So every now and then I go back into my old stomping grounds, and folks are just like, "Wow, you're the adult version of that little girl." That you said, you're the adult that you said you was going to be someday. And I am always just humbled by that because I can still go to the block and keep it real, but I can also go into other rooms and seal deals on behalf of myself and people like you. So I want to make this today is all about you. So I want us to have a dialogue about who are people like you. You're here on a Saturday morning because there's something that you're striving for right now. Maybe you're building a team. Maybe you're working on your leadership. Maybe you're attempting to leave or enter a new territory in corporate. Maybe you're really uncomfortable right now. Maybe you're questioning what you're doing right now in your career, in your personal life. Maybe you're around people that are just not serving your trajectory. It's a lot of things to be said here. So I do want to know from those of you who can't hear me right now, just tell me something really quick about you, whether you want to come off the mic really quick or you want to leave something in the chat like your name, what city, and one of your big goals that you don't mind other people being aware of. And let me tell you something about making other people aware of your goals. When you put it out there to peers or strangers, it becomes more real because you didn't put it out there to the universe. Because if it's just in your mind and you're thinking about doing this thing, that's cool. It's a wish, but it's not a goal because it doesn't have a plan. So I'm not here today to give you anything generic. I'm here to give you, and I'm not wowing you with, when you see this presentation, it's not anything like, wow, that's the dopest. You ain't getting that today. You're really getting, I was like, what do I want to say? I whipped up something on Canva just as a guide for me, but you're going to get Serita as if you would get me if we were in person. So I really want you to benefit from it full throttle. And I hope that you can stick around the entire presentation, because I might have a surprise, might have a little bit of a surprise. But real quick, if anybody want to come off the mic or you want to leave something in the chat, who are you? Why did you come here today? Where are you from? And maybe share an audacious goal. Just for just a few minutes. I want us to ice break for a second for those who are willing. Yeah, that's so everybody doesn't have to participate. But anybody want to come off the mic real quick or say something in the chat? And if not, I'm gonna keep moving. But my thing is, if we're in this room, you are not shy. So look, Brandon, you did show your face. So listen, I see Lamika said something. She said her goal is to learn and offer more education and resources about mental health resources to minority communities. There are so many paths for you to be able to do that, Lamika. And if you position yourself in a way that you tie your story into the mental health trajectory that you're on, that's going to build more trust, more credibility. It's going to create more social currency and more impact. So I'm excited to hear back from you, Lamika, and hopefully see some engagement. I really hope that this presentation is fruitful for you. So Brandon, you know I got you. Look, I'm tapped you because we're supposed to get some FaceTime anyway. So I'm glad this is as close as we can get right now. So what's up?
Hey, Serita, how you been? I hadn't seen you in a few months. Last time I saw you was at a Golden Angels event, I think back in January, I think it was. So it's been a while. I just came on. I happened to see it on Facebook. I said, I've been trying to go ahead and get in her circle and try to talk to her more. Let me see what this training is about. But right now, my goal is I'm kind of stuck between, trying to find a new job and also trying to build my business as well, too.
Okay.
And because my job has been so demanding for these last couple of months, I haven't grown my company. I want to grow it. So I'm here for, different mentality, different headspace to try to get me into that right direction so I can go ahead and improve myself and what I can go ahead and do and open up different pathways to my success. I know that time management is a very big thing. So I know working your job as 8 hours, a lot of time putting, 10 hours, even 12 hours into my job too much, where it stops me actually growing my actual company. So I'm just trying to see if I can go ahead and learn here to kind of get that mindset, say, hey, look here, what ways can I go ahead and navigate that time management, get the most out of my time and focus on developing me and other skills. I can go ahead and focus on my company as well, too.
Awesome. So 2 things real quick. What type of career are you in right now? And what type of business are you building?
I'm in accounting. I'm an accounting manager at a nonprofit right now.
Perfect.
And so right now I'm building up a business consulting company that's focusing in tax planning, bookkeeping, business advisory services, account cleanup, outsource CFO services. I'm helping people actually go ahead and build and structure the company properly so they can go ahead and get the most tax advantage out of there as well, too.
Awesome. So I'm gonna tell you out the gate, and this applies to anyone who engages today. If you don't know me and we've never had a touch point, something to know about me out the gate is I love sharing resources, and not in the sense of just generally saying, hey, go here. I connect you to the person. So Brandon, I already out the gate have someone for you who is in the top 3 percentile of the financial industry worldwide, and he's a brother. And I don't know how he actually, we just finished the call together less than 30 minutes ago. So I told him he needs to, on a personal note, I told him he needs to see a chiropractor because he has already he's traveled 50 times this year already as a financial professional. And there's wear and tear on his body right now. So I'm big on us being holistically sound all the way across the board, because if we're changing lives and creating opportunities for upward mobility, we got to take care of ourselves. So I know that's not the tone today, but there will be a few times that I say something about our wellness. And I'm really glad that Lamika kind of kicked that off from the perspective of the mental side, but our physical wellness is just as important. David, Guy said, oh, okay. He said he's looking to start his own business and get past working for others for his livelihood. He's still stuck at the moment, rightfully so. He said, I'm looking to pull the confidence out of myself to move forward and realize my potential, no fear. Perfect. Then you're in the right room today. You are in the right room. A lot of people are feeling that way right now, you all. And we are entering a contract culture. Like the things that are happening with real estate right now, where more people are shopping online, it's a reason for that. We're not going to be like, here we are, if it's millennials in the room, or what's the generation before us? Is it, because it's like X, Y, Z, but I always forget it's not in that order, right? Because we're the millennials. Mike, you want to help me with that one? Who's the generation before millennial, because we got the boomers, my parents. My parents were boomers. And then who are after the boomers? Anyone? And that could quick chat GPT real quick. Somebody help. But in a nutshell, like we all need each other and we're all adjusting and adapting. So David, congrats in advance on that shift for yourself, because I am going to give you all tips today about assessing like where you are right now, your strengths, your weaknesses. I'm a huge advocate of amplify your strengths, outsource or hire your weaknesses. A lot of times we are taught, especially inside of our families, if we're first generation achievers, people love to tell us where we fall short. Okay, I'm not great at that thing, but here are the things that I am great at. If I just focused on that and I built people around me to strengthen me where I fall short, that doesn't mean that eventually the areas that I'm weak in, I'm going to be fully stronger, but my strength is in the people around me so I can focus on operating in my zone of genius. Real genius and brilliance is operated from a space of operating from your strengths. So I am going to discuss that a little bit today. Anybody else before we take this deep dive? Anybody else want to share either a goal, you want to do that quick pitch? Like, cause sometimes you don't know who's in the room. And because Brian just said who he was, I just shared what David is thinking about. Lamika just shared something about mental health resources. Anybody else before we get started? I love being able to create social currency and networking. So Mike, I know you might be interested. I'll be calling folks out, especially if I see you. So Mike, feel free. Quick elevator intro. And if there's anybody else, please come off of turn your mic off, show your face if you can. And this will be my last call for that, because I'm going to get into the presentation. So Teresa, if you are able, definitely let's see that beautiful smile. And I want to hear from you as well. So, hey, Mike, how are you?
Awesome morning. Yeah, I came in a little bit late. I was feeding my face. I didn't know what was going on.
Oh, you were good. We're just getting started.
Oh, good. Yeah, Mike Watson with Win Bosses Link. Was to say located 4025 Southwestern Boulevard. The goal is for people to find their freedom, smile again, and do things you love every day. Therefore, you don't consider yourself to be a slave to work. What I've noticed within the last 2 months, there's a lot of opportunity in the nonprofit space where people are collabing that way because they have figured out how to get the funding. Well, that's one thing I know nothing about. So that is one weakness that I know for a fact. We're missing, we call ourselves following the easy 1023, but since we make more than 50 grand,
yeah,
it got voided. I'm like, I wish somebody would have told us that at the beginning. Wish we had a boss in that. So ultimately what we're looking for is people that do know how to set up the non-for-profit the correct way with the long form, as well as the GATS, the SAMs, or whatever else goes with it. I really personally don't know. But then also someone that is a genuine grant writer that knows exactly how to make it get done. And even if there's a payment up front, that's fine, as long as we know that they know what they're doing. And then that's pretty much it, because there's a lot of opportunities on hand that we keep missing because we don't have that piece.
I'm really happy to hear that, because the room that you're in, obviously, I'm only a degree of separation for people to be those resources to you. But this organization, this foundation can potentially be a navigation system for you. I don't know if Kiana is, I think she's with us. I think she's hanging with us. But if not, she would be a great person to just kind of bounce off of, just for the resources and being pointed in the right direction. I do have someone else that I'm not going to mention, only because it is her full-time job, but we know each other. I'll personally make that connection. And full transparency, everyone, there's this trend right now about gatekeeping. What I'm saying to Mike has nothing to do with gatekeeping. It's about qualifying. So Mike is qualified for this introduction. So sometimes everything isn't a give everybody the resource. You have to be in a certain place or at a certain level of readiness for certain contexts and things like that. So please take heed to that. This is not a form of gatekeeping. If you know that you are ready, I'll share the same contact with you, but I just need to have a brief dialogue to qualify the intro. We're talking about time management today. Busy people don't need more time wasters and distractions. And I'm speaking to you. We are all busy people, and you need to qualify people to get access to certain levels of you. So we'll hit on that just a little bit today, but Mike, I'll get that resource to you ASAP. And I made a note to myself to share this person with you. This individual was able to acquire nearly I said that wrong. I said it right. Nearly 7 figures in nonprofit funding in less than 11 months. And I'm running their campaign right now. This person is running for office next year for a village in Illinois. So it's a few reasons why I'm not just freely saying, oh, call this person, because she is very busy right now. However, when you qualify folks, she will be like, oh, I'll make time for that, because that aligns. So one more. So Teresa, I know you said you were coming up really quick. Kiana is on the YouTube stream. Hey, girl. So Teresa, you ready? And then we're going to kick this thing off. I just wanted to create an opportunity for you all to just have a feel for your peers in the room. So, hey, Teresa.
Hi, everybody. Hi. Hey, Serita.
Hey, how you feel?
Good. I'm great. How's everybody?
I hope good.
Good. I'm happy to be happy to share. My name is Teresa Fanny Williams, and I am a health coach. I'm a health and wellness coach. I go by Coach Fanny, and I help busy professionals prioritize their health. I have a juice and supplement company as well. So I provide healthy juices, detox programs, greens powders, detox powders, protein powders, cookbooks, meal plans. We are a one-stop shop for all things health, providing nutrition workshops to businesses, to schools, to organizations, and one-on-one coaching.
And tell me about one of your immediate urgent goals right now.
One of my immediate urgent goals is I am in the process of rebranding with Success Junkie, Serita Love herself, to get my business in a place where I can provide the important data points to show retailers that I am worthy of being on store shelves. So right now we are re-strategizing, rebranding my entire business so that we can show our credibility to be in the world market.
I love that. I'm actually going to share something with you all off of Fanny's comment. If you haven't read any of Damon John's books, I highly recommend. So whether it's Power Shift, Rise or Grind, or The Power of Broke, those are the 3 that I've read and I listen to on autopilot, like University on Wheels. I highly, highly, highly recommend. There's just a candid delivery and that he does that's just really organic, that makes you feel like you're sitting with your mentor. Some of the books he doesn't fully read. Sway from Sway in the Morning does the audio. Sway has a dope voice. He got a dope swagger. So on behalf of Damon John, the content is just incredible. So if you're just thinking about how do I build more effective, intentional relationships, how do I increase my influence, how do I grow my brand in a way that I stand out from every other thing that's out here like me, I highly recommend, because I went to my phone because I went to sleep to Power Shift. Power Shift is just all about, that goes back to your strengths and your weaknesses. Where else can I shift this power to my benefit? Who can I align myself with, to get a door open for me? So things like, it's really, really, really good, because I'll share one last thing before I get started on the presentation, because it's 10:24 a.m. and we have a lot to cover. An example is, a lot of times people want access to other people, and they can reach out to folks and they can knock on a door, a digital door, because a lot of times that's what we're doing now. They can hit the LinkedIn, go down in the Instagram DM, send the Facebook request, and not get any kind of response. For some reason, this is why positioning is important. I can reach out to those same people and get access to them quicker, because I have a strategy. There's a method to my madness. So I don't always go directly to that person. I find the person closest to them. So if they're like an alderman or alderwoman, I find out who the chief of staff is. I get to the next person closer to that person, because they're probably not as busy as the main person that you're trying to get access to. But my clients don't necessarily know that. I'm sharing that hack with you all right now. They just think, oh, Serita reached out and now we have a meeting next Tuesday. You gotta have a strategy, you all. So when it comes to these goals, I'm about to share my screen. I think I have permission to do so. And we're going to get into this. If anybody else wants to say something real quick, this is your moment. Otherwise, we're gonna get this thing started. So are we good? Do I have your permission and undivided attention to go through this conversation, y'all? If I can get something in the chat, an actual yes, thumbs up. Okay, perfect. So let me get this up. And FYI, when I tell y'all I am not the most tech savvy, so don't be laughing at me, y'all, if I don't get this right the first time. But I definitely had it ready to roll. Here we go. So I'm just share the screen. Look, thank you for Canva. But once again, thank you, Impact Lives Touch Gift Foundation, for just proposing this opportunity for me to share this presentation today. I'm really excited because even though these are really the soft skills. These are the soft skills. And a lot of times we have so many people who are so technically savvy that they miss the client experience. They miss the people skills. They miss the importance of communication. They miss the importance of follow-up, all of those things. So I'm really, really happy to have this dialogue with you all. I'm just emphasizing today professional development, how to confidently get what you want with no apologies. We're not apologizing for the things that we're going after. If we're leaving that job, we're not apologizing. They're not serving what it is that we're trying to accomplish in present day. So in short, Success Junkie it exists for the sole purpose of sharing tools and resources that promote upward mobility. The near future for Success Junkie, the brand, looks like more experiences to develop social currency, more access to people who have already done what it is we're attempting to accomplish, more curation of spaces for vendors to be in environments where their actual target enters the room. I notice far too often that we have these pop-ups and vending experiences where you pay to be the vendor and nothing else happens. Like, you paid to be in this room and no customers really come, things like that. I don't do that over here. I'm very strategic about how I create space when it comes to all of the different wild ideas you all have at the table, which leads me to my personal brand evolution, which is, you all who may be with me for years to come, you'll notice the evolution of my personal brand identity, which will be business matchmaker or success matchmaker. I just happen to have old school, we say Rolodex long ago, but I just happen to have a lot of really strong relationships with people who have problems and people who have solutions. So I'm naturally a middle child. I love bridging the gap for investors and founders, because this is what I found out. Investors, a lot of times, they have the capital and they lack the ideation. They lack the creativity. They lack the innovation. A lot of creatives that I meet and innovators, they lack the capital. So it's people like Mike Watson, who I would direct them to, to get their credit savvy up and get their paper up when it comes to planning for fulfillment and things like that. But a lot of times there's opportunities for us to grow really fast, and you need an investor. Like, it's not really about your own capital. You need somebody else's money in a nutshell. So I do see something in the chat I want to pay attention to. Hey, Angel said, I love Success Junkie. And yes, so let me get into this, you all, because hold on. Let me close that. Okay, so here we go. All right. I would love you all to keep your microphone muted unless you have a question to ask, or less a question is posed. Once again, I really want this to be engaging. So just for the sake of, if you got noise behind you, let's just keep it as quiet as we can. But it is okay to interrupt me today. So if something comes up and you're like, you have an impromptu question, you will not be rude today to be like, can you expand on that? Or what about this? What about that? I want you to get things from me in real time. So if you have any questions, send something in the chat. I'm able to see some things, but I would rather you just come off the mic or put your hand up, and I'll just pull you in so we can engage in real time. Because your question may be a question someone else has. And yeah, I want to be able to answer it in real time. I will be communicating with you all for the next hour and 15 minutes. Hour and 15 minutes. Listen, this is going to be two-way once again. So hour and 15 minutes looks like you have full access to me on each of these topics. So if something comes to mind, write it down, because you'll be able to get that resource in real time. Please turn on your cameras if you can. I would love to see you. I would love to, at least see my starting 5, so if I get 5 of you across the bottom of the screen, I move the screen down, that would be wonderful. But if not, it's Saturday, I understand. So the structure is, once again, it's very personal. Who am I? Gave you a little bit of a snapshot of that. What do I do? I'll go into that a little bit more. But once again, it's all about you today. So why are you here? You're here to hone in on how do I achieve these personal and professional development goals. Self-awareness. How can I be more aware of my growth trajectory? Because what a lot of us are struggling with right now in Chicago, I see this battle of like the high schools, and like you got the high school wars and all of that type of stuff. And you have people who have went to college or whatever they done in life. They're like, why are we still talking about high school? We're still talking about high school because inside of where we graduated, no matter where we graduated from, is our next business partner. Another person that at least that's how I see it. I see it from a perspective of it's somebody who needs me and don't know they need me. It's somebody I need and I don't know I need. Yes, I'm going to have fun. Yes, I'm going to let my hair down. But I think at the end of the day, I look at it like social. It's an opportunity for me to build more social currency. So make deposits and even get some withdrawals. So the other thing was time management. The struggle is real, y'all. We got the same 24 hours, but the demands on us in the same 24 hours today is way different than it was 30 years ago. So how do you do it all when we got all of these things pinging? We got people texting, we got DMs, we got all of these different apps and ways to communicate. Is too much. And I'm making sure I watch. Yeah, Angel is like, time management is a game changer. And I know Angel for being one of the most, I admire Angel. And if you, Angel, you must be busy right now because I know Angel's face would be on here. Angel is one of the most efficient people that I know when it comes to time management. She's an early riser. I'm not. I'm nocturnal. So I like to stay up late and I'm like, oh, morning, what is going on? But what I'm realizing as I'm starting to get more demand on my time, I have to get up earlier, whether I like it or not. I hate it with a passion, y'all, but I plan my day in advance in the evening, and I try my best to get up earlier to start my day to just have a more successful, productive, efficient kind of day. So I already knew it. Angel says she's coordinating an event, but she's here to engage with us via chat. So the last thing is cultivating a growth mindset. A lot of times we don't realize it, but inadvertently we limit our growth because of what people have told us. So we didn't drink the Kool-Aid. We got the good side of us, the bad side of us, telling us who we are, and we buy. Why do we buy into the one who tell us what we can't do? You got a cheerleader on the right side telling you like, go for it. But then the other side, like, man, who gonna buy that? And then from you, that's what you offering? Oh, okay. Like seriously, I deal with it. And Mike talks me through these things sometimes. Miss Teresa over here, we have this conversation quite often where she just be like, I just needed somebody to be my navigation system. Sometimes you just need somebody to edify you and confirm what you already know about yourself to be true. So personal development and professional, self-awareness, time management, and cultivating growth mindset is what we're covering today. So for me, like I said, I just whipped this up to just have some type of visual for you all today. For someone who's a master of delegating, high level, I would have outsourced this same concept and had someone to level it up. So don't pay attention to what's pretty or not. The content is going to be good. Okay. So in a nutshell, I'm bringing to the table almost more so over in some instances, but approximately 20 plus years of experience in marketing and professional development. But here's the thing, adversities fuel my successes. All of the things that either I told myself negatively, I observed directly, continues to fuel my success. I work with a lot of people who have been through a ton. Yes, sometimes I work with people who have more of a silver spoon situation, but I actually work with a lot of people that had the worst case scenarios. So an example, without me stripping myself of any integrity, I'll just say, just think of any form of trauma: sexual abuse, violence, whether it's gun violence, gang violence, you name it, substance abuse. A lot of these things have happened in front of us or directly to us before the age of 10 to 12. And somehow, some way, we've either witnessed some of these things. And if you haven't, congratulations, you had a healthy childhood. So there was something that I was going to say earlier about my first few years in life. I lost my mom at 9 years old when I lived on 73rd and Wood. And I ended up in a lot of custody battles with my family. I come from a big family. My mom was one of 14 children. And I ended up moving with my dad's sister, who had 6 children of her own. And she was granted custody of my baby brother and I. There were 11 of us in a 3-bedroom apartment on the north side of Chicago. So I lost my mom summer of 93, fall of 93. I'm in a new school having culture shock. I'm seeing Asians, Bosnian. I'm seeing all of these. I'm having a huge culture shock because I only grew up around people that look like me. So I'm like, you see on TV that people speak other languages and things like that, but to be exposed to it with no like real life context and being from the hood, I was like, what is this? Why do you talk like that? Why do you eat this? It was really, I can't explain it. It was really odd, to say the least, y'all. But I bring that up because the reason my survival tactic was relationship building. Because the school that I moved to when my mom passed away, I only went to that school for 4 years. And I'm actually going to be really, really transparent with you all. When I was 14, something happened in my household and I spoke up on it. The something that happened in my household, without me going deep into details, was tied to my aunt's husband. I spoke up about it. She chose her husband over me. She put me out immediately. I was a straight A, honor student, active in school, a good kid at best. Now, ain't no kids perfect, but I was respectful. I did what I was supposed to do. My grades were excellent, and I did everything in my power to not cause trouble. I was very conflict avoidant. She put me out. Some of you might be wondering, where was your dad? Funny thing about my dad is my dad and my mom were married the year before my mom died, and then my mom died less than a year later. So my dad went down a path of substance abuse and alcohol use. So Success Junkie comes from me being a 12-year-old at 12-step program with my dad. I wrote a book from those experiences of observing how people can take 12 steps to get unhooked off of bad habits. I flipped that and I said, I'm going to create a 12-step program for people to get hooked on positive habits. So something I want you guys to take heed to is, when it comes to Success Junkie state of mind, is this. I want you to ask yourself, what was my first hit in life? And your first hit, like a junkie is negative. You get they have an injection. There's this high that they chase to the end of time that they can never attain again, you all. But what's yours? And if somebody is willing to share on what that is, leave it in the chat. Your first hit is a win that makes you proud, makes you really proud, that happened between birth and 10 years old. So maybe you won a track race, or you got your first straight A award, or maybe you defied it. Maybe you had speech therapy, like any type of challenge, anything that you overcome. If you think about it right now and it just lights you up because it was an accomplishment, that feeling that you have from that first hit, your endorphins goes up and you smile from ear to ear, either internally or if we were able to have a conversation about it. I'm bringing this up because if you're able to identify your first hit, then you're able to fully embrace the benefits of some of the side effects to being ambitious: relapse, withdrawal, isolation. You are going to withdraw yourself from things that aren't good for you. When it comes to habits, as you're trying to better yourself, when it comes to your personal development, you are going to relapse. You're going to be like, man, I'm trying to do better with my time management, and things are going to happen and you're going to go back to those bad habits. You need other people around you to recognize, like, yo, you said that this was your goal. The things you're doing doesn't align with you achieving that goal, whether it's spending money frivolously, poorly managing your time, whatever the company that you keep. So it's 3 points that I'm trying to make here, because that book I'm actually revising to put it back out into the marketplace. It's called The Success High, 12 Steps to Getting and Staying Ahead. You can't get it nowhere right now because it's being revised so I can put it back out in a different way. So your first hit, your side effects to being ambitious, I only shared a few of them. That wasn't all of them. And then most importantly, this is why I said, absolutely, I would do this talk today. The third thing is success overdose. It's other things in between these 3 points, but the key 3 that I want to highlight right now, success overdose is don't achieve so much to the point that you get so high on your own supply that you forget where you came from. You have a responsibility to, once you achieve what you achieve, to help somebody else be their cheat sheet or cheat code to their success. Because just because you didn't have whatever you didn't have, eventually you were able to attain whatever these goals are that you're going after. There's another version of you waiting for you to put your hand back out there. And that person is going to be the biggest blessing to you in so many ways. I'm going to look at the chat really quick. First hit, success overdose, and first hit, side effects to being ambitious, and success overdose was the last one. Mike just said, let me see. Give me 1 second, you all. Thank you, Angel. She said adversities fuel my success. She quoted that. So Mike just said, the first time a stranger said an idea I had was heaven sent, and they dreamed this day would come. And that's how I met Mike. I met Mike aligned with his gift, which is music. I have an older brother who knew Mike. I got exposed to him. I was like, who is this guy? Because of Mike, I met so many amazing people in the music industry. And I'm not affiliated heavily in the entertainment space, but I was able to really create some profound relationships because of a Mike Watson. Next thing you know, Mike has been my not so secret weapon for countless things in business, whether it's audio visual support. And sometimes he has volunteered his time because he believes in something that I built, because we looked out for each other in different ways. 1 second, I'm just scrubbing the messages. Any quick questions about that, you all, or anybody want to share? Mike shared one of his first hit. Anybody else has something that you like, man, I remember the first time and I'm talking about go back to when you were young, not the adult. Does anybody else have something that it gives you joy to reflect on and it's tied to who you are today? Anybody? Before I go on, because I just want to let you know a reason you should listen to me today is because I have seen people. Yes. Oh, go ahead. What you got?
So I guess I'm gonna be a little biased. So y'all, I'm sure. Angel Jones with Golden Angel Management. I'm a sales trainer and business coach. But my first time meeting Serita, I was so overwhelmed with joy because she was somebody I looked up to. And I was like so happy that she was talking to me and she was gonna support me. And she was like, I will take you in as someone that I could mentor and help you to your next level. And I was just like so happy that she decided to pour into me and help me elevate and connect me with so many other high-level business owners. So that's my first hit, meeting you.
That's dope. But no, I gotta let's I can't let you get away that quick. Go back to little Angel just for a second, Angel. Like think about the woman that you are today. What is something synonymous to the little girl? Something that you achieve, no matter how big or small, but it gives you joy today as the woman. What is that, if you don't mind sharing?
My first time introducing myself to a friend, because I was an introvert.
Boom. And what does she do? If you all don't know Angel is an Ethernet. She is a super connector. Angel, about how old were you when that happened?
I was 11.
Okay, so I said between birth to about 12 years old, you all. You got to find it inside of there because that's the core of your being.
Maybe 10.
Highly likely. Chrissy, I wouldn't be surprised what she was about to say because if you don't know who Chrissy Williams is, Chrissy, come off the mic real quick. Your first hit, what was something that still make you gleams today when it comes to achievement? Because I'm going somewhere with this. Chrissy?
Good day, everyone. How you all doing? I know you probably you're not gonna respond.
Hey, Chrissy.
But anyway.
Hey.
Hey. I believe I was 7 when I realized more so my leadership roles. I'm the oldest, by the way. So I always had the weight of being the responsible one when it comes to my family. And I think when I was 7, I made the decision to make breakfast for the first time by myself because my parents or my mom just did not want to get up. And mind you, I have a very similar story to yours, Serita. But for me, I took action because I was hungry and I had to feed my sisters and myself. And my mom just did not want to get up because she was, they were still drunk from partying the night before. And ever since then, I just continued to be in that more so leadership role.
That boom. So what Chrissy does in present day, and ironically, I know some of the participants in the room, so I appreciate you all for showing your girl some love today on this Saturday because it adds value to other people who are here today who are in our degrees of separation. So a couple of things. Chrissy is now a master at operations. When you're the oldest child, especially the oldest daughter.
And grandchild.
And grandchild in her case. There's a lot of responsibility that falls on that firstborn, male or female, but there's something else that happens with the daughter. It's like she becomes the next mom in the sense. So lo and behold, what does she do now? She does many things, but she is a master systems and operator type of individual amongst many other things. She's fashion, she's a model, she's a brand ambassador, she's a wonderful speaker, a lot of things, but it started at being assigned a responsibility that she didn't even ask for. It just happened. It was happenstance. So Teresa said, went in the spelling bee in elementary school and she laughed. She said, I was happy. All my studying got me a win. I made it to the next competition. So nervous. I didn't win, but I showed up. I learned how to push myself when challenged and afraid. I know her in present day. This is the woman that I still know. When pressure is being applied, like Teresa, do you mind if I'm not gonna say too much, but do you mind if I share it this week? Not the full details, but just a little snippet.
You can share whatever you want. That's the beauty of being your client. I trust you, so I know you got my back.
So I'm just gonna say this, y'all. This woman, action orientation. I gave her some instructions on something. I just gave her the strategy. I didn't say go out and do it. I said, this is what we're going to do. She didn't pull the trigger on all of the things and execute it immediately. I'm thinking I'm waiting for our next call to plan. She's like, oh no, that's already happening. I was like, what do you mean? I didn't even give you, the rest of the details. And I'm sure, because I didn't get a chance to get back to you, Teresa, but you said something that really, I was like, and that's why I didn't want you to go so fast. But some people just need to see what it feels like so that they can fill the gaps. They need to see what it feels like to not do it all the way right. So they can be like, I know I should have went about this differently. I didn't have the opportunity to provide her with that because she just took off like Sonic the Hedgehog. And then
you can share what I did.
So in a nutshell, I gave her an idea to launch something. I gave her the roadmap of what it should look like. I helped her. I gave her like the suggestions of what to plug in and how to activate. And she just pulled the trigger. And the feedback was, I wish I had a little more time to market it a certain way. And there were a few other things that just, you want to say anything else with that, Teresa? But those key things were the other parts I wanted to provide her with. She didn't give me the opportunity. She challenged herself. She went into it afraid. And then she realized, oh, okay. So I don't know if you got any conversion out of it yet. And if you did, congratulations. But if you didn't, I know why you did it. And that's okay, because we get to do it again and we get to do it better. That makes sense?
Totally, yes.
Did you want to say anything tied to your feedback before I move on?
Well, yeah, it was just I was needing to market for a longer period of time. There was a process that I even though it was put together correctly, there were still more components that needed to accompany the package. And so the marketing campaign was supposed to be longer. I would have surely gotten more buy-in because the quality is there, but there was a strategy that I skipped over. And so I needed to feel that burn too. So knowing that I put in all that work and didn't get the return that I was looking for. So now I know just to pump my brakes and just wait, be more patient. That's something that I'm learning in business, is to be more patient.
And I'm going to add that I'm actually glad that you challenge yourself in that way, because it's not too late. You now have warm leads. You now have people who see, they recognize the credibility a little more. You've established more trust. Sometimes it takes a while. So now we can retarget them in a different way and maybe invite them to a one-to-one conversation with you. Even though you extended the invitation, there's an opportunity for you to do direct outreach and get them in another way. So that's a whole other, I might have to come back one day and collaborate with Angel on something so we can give a two-pronged perspective of like sales strategy, because there is a rhyme and reason to it. But building the relationship and really understanding objections aren't always about money, y'all. Objections are psychological. Objections are sometimes, I don't trust you enough yet. I'm not ready yet. I don't believe you. I need more people. I don't see the testimonials. You guys are hearing in real time, like different people. This is not by design. I didn't know you guys were showing up. I'm very grateful, and I'm graciously receptive of you guys sharing space with me, with us digitally right now. So I'm saying that for folks that I haven't had a chance to get to know. I hope this is affording us more, not just proximity, but more trust, more than anything. I see that, Angel skipped the 4th grade. Lamika, she was cooking for her family. She's not sure of what age, but Lamika said something earlier about providing resources, mental health, mental wellness. I'm sure if I was able to get a little more information from Lamika, I would learn something really disruptive, to say the least. Not because there's something else I want to say, but I don't know Lamika at this, or I can't see Lamika right now, so I'm not sure if I know Lamika. But thank you for sharing that, Lamika. And someone else said, okay, it's a lot of love being shown up in here. And Angel said, I was nervous about being a new kid in class with older kids. So what I told you all about 8th grade, when my aunt put me out, when she put me out of my the home that was home since the 4th grade, in 8th grade, and I still have the report card. I went to 4 schools. The school that I was in first quarter, second quarter, I moved to the west side of Chicago. I lived with another aunt, paternal aunt. My dad was trying to get his life together. So third quarter, he was like, I can take care of my own kids. So my dad got us a place to live, and I moved to the southeast side, and I went to Nino's Heroes Elementary School. When I was on the west side, I was at Lewis Elementary near La Follette Park. So when my dad got my baby brother and I, third quarter, we had this really nice apartment. I didn't get a bed yet, y'all. I'm like just sleeping on the floor. I'm just happy I got a room, because I hadn't had a room in my whole childhood, my own room. So I'm like, I just got a room. I ain't got a bed. I got a room. So we're in this apartment, really, really nice apartment, balcony. I'm thinking we own one. And I'm like, oh, stability. My dad, he got this. That's third quarter. I'm in advanced placement at Nino's Heroes Elementary School, and I'm so behind. Like, I don't know what they're learning. I'm just trying to keep up. Doesn't matter, because I'm not going to be in that school much longer. In the third quarter, I'm transferring to my last school for 8th grade. My dad couldn't keep the rent for us to stay where we were. So I moved into another apartment on 68th, 69th and Normal, across the street from Robertson High School. And I went to Banneker, right there on the corner. This was the year that the young lady Ryan Harris was murdered. my new friends in the neighborhood were the kids that were being accused of her murder. They tried to accuse children of murdering that child, and she wasn't. That's not what happened, as we all know. But I bring that up to say 8th grade, 4 schools. I'm just moving and moving and moving. And I ain't moving on up. I'm just moving because I still don't have a bed in the 4th quarter. I share this because you got to laugh at your pain, y'all. Like, you got to laugh at, he tried. This man was one of the most happy-go-lucky, beautiful human beings who, if I had time to share a little bit of his story, because we got to think about that, y'all. Our parents and us as parents, our flaws come from the things that people couldn't give us or weren't available to give us. So he wasn't provided with the things for him to be stable. He lost his mom at 10 years old. He didn't know his dad. The woman that put me out raised him. That was one of his older sisters. So it's trauma. There's this cycle of trauma, and it built me up, y'all. It was just one of those things where it's like, but here's the plot twist. My mom's side of the family was fed up about me just all this moving around. They like, now wait a minute, now this girl, she needs some stability. So got accepted to Lane Tech and went there 1 year commuting from the South Side. And I was about to be all involved in this and that. And then my family was like, nope, you're going to move one more. You're going to transfer out of a school one more time. This is your last transfer. And I transferred to Bogan on the South Side of Chicago. And Bogan, I'm bringing this up. This is important because Bogan changed my life. 2 white women, 2 women that look nothing like me, come from no experiences similarly to me, changed my life. And that was my principal, Linda Perchowski, and a woman named Beverly Paralak. Those 2 types of names, it ain't no Jones, ain't no Williams, ain't no Robinson, ain't no Jackson, it ain't no whatever, Tiller, Williams, like all the, look, Watson is none of our names, you know? But that's because they saw a leader. They was just like, it's something about you. You just need to be invested in. It's something about you. You just need to be exposed. It's something about you. Keep being different. Keep being different. So Angel just said a couple of things. She said lack of belief. She said lack of belief they can get the outcome you promised. Lack of money to invest in the transformation you promised. Oh yeah. These are some of the objections. Yes. Lack of time. This is why people say no to you sometimes when you're selling something, y'all. Lack of time to commit to making the transformation you promised, and lack of being the decision maker. That's another thing. A lot of times people say no because they're not the one with the money. They're not the one with the money, or they're not the one who makes the decision on what happens with the money. So sometimes it's like, well, let me speak to your wife. Let me speak to your husband. Let me speak to your boss. Let me speak to the CEO. Let me speak to HR, marketing. Thank you so much, Angel. And she said, God cover me, just like God covered every single one of us that's in this room right now. Everything that could have killed us didn't win. And that's why I'm about to move on. You should listen to me because I've worked Fortune 500 and Fortune 100 companies have cleared me to speak to their employees and help them with their strategies. And let me see what else. Be an ambassador for their different brands. So companies like Procter & Gamble, Starbucks, Ranchers Reserve State, Zillow, RSM. I have worked directly for or with these organizations and not as an employee, as a representative for some of their high-level campaigns that would yield to, in some instances, a baseline of 100,000 people when it comes to guerrilla marketing, experiential marketing, and integrated marketing communications, which is pulling all sorts of strategies together to help people reach certain goals. So, sorry, y'all. Let me just get this chat out the way. 1 second. Okay, so what do I do in a nutshell? The short of it is I take brands to the bank. How do I do that? I leverage strategic marketing initiatives. I align with other people who are more data-driven to provide the insights that we need to create innovative campaigns that drive growth and profitability. There is no type of business I cannot serve. The only thing is I specialize with aligning with seasonal professionals. So when I understand their unique needs and their goals for their respective brands, I develop tailored strategies that maximize not only their potential, but ensures their success in the marketplace. So let me get into the nitty gritty. It's 11 o'clock on the dot. And this is where I needed to be for your goals. So in a nutshell, you all, we already know that goal setting is crucial to your success. You know this, and that's why you're here. You know this already, but something's not working. Something's not clicking. And it's like, okay, what do I need to do differently, right? So when you set your goals, it gives you more direction. We know that. We don't get in the car. I mean, with the exception of those of us in like Chicago who just get in the car to ride down Lakeshore Drive, turn the music up. You know, sometimes there is no direction, but I'm heading out and I'm coming back home. But most of the time, you know what the destination is. But here's the problem. Sometimes you have people who say, I want to lose weight. I want to make more money. I want a new opportunity, but you're not specific enough. How much more money? How much weight? Within what period of time? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to do to bring these things to fruition in a nutshell? So I do want to spend a moment here because some of you did share, you know, those goals. Is that goal specific enough? Have you broken that goal down to easily digestible bites? Because if anyone reaches out to me after this at success@seritalove.com, some of you may have it already. Some of you may not. I'm not selling you nothing here today. I'm just presenting. But I have a free resource. It don't put you on the email list. I'm not putting you in my funnel. I'm just responding to the email and sending you this piece of information. All it is a file of 50 free books. If you want it, success@seritalove.com. In the subject text, just put 50 free books. I'll send you the free books. One of the free books in there is Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. I love that book. I reread it at different levels of my career and life because every time I read it, I consume that information differently. If we have this big goal, we got to break it down and we have to track it and we have to measure and we have to make adjustments. Who said something right here? Yeah, 50 free books. Thank you, Angel. Look, Angel is the note taker today, y'all. I don't know how she's at the event handling her business and holding your girl down today, but know that I appreciate you, Angel. But in a nutshell, is there something somebody's going after right now that you feel like it's clear? You feel like it's clear, but you're still having barriers. And I call those barriers bankable barriers because my motto is taking brands to the bank. So I call it bankable barriers. Let's talk about that for one quick second. Is somebody working on something right now where you're like, it is clear, but it's still not working out? What's going on? If somebody wants to say something. Anybody? And if not, I'm gonna keep
going.
We're
talking about barriers?
Yeah. So we're talking about, you know what it is to a T. What's in the way? Whether it's you, time, the marketplace, like what is it?
Fractured focus.
And now is that for you or is that for someone else?
Oh, that's just for someone else. It's like most people. But for me,
yes.
A barrier is my focus on the back end of operations, like getting my back end operations done.
That's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. So a lot of times, and Angel, you know this through and through, a lot of times too many of us, we just want to look like it. We want to look like it's going well. We want the branding to look good. We want to look good. You know, we want to keep this ongoing story that we tell and sell. You know, oh man, they eventually gonna catch on. When really, let's just say hypothetically, you got your Oprah moment, and your Oprah moment is, let's say something you put out there, it went viral, and you're not ready for the demand that comes your way. So whether you can't fulfill the orders, you can't fulfill the services. I'm struggling with a piece of this as well, but it's being built right now. So I have someone building it for me because I don't know how. I don't know how to do it the way that, and that's the other thing, y'all. Even if you don't know how to do it, that's not where my time and energy needs to be. My time and energy needs to be equipping myself for when it is a well-oiled machine, me having the physical, the mental, the emotional, the psychological, the financial wherewithal to see people through on what I promised them, because your brand is a promise. The brand is not just what it looks like. What are you promising me when you say when bosses link? What are you promising me when you say I'm coming to a golden angel management experience, a golden, I want to mess it up, Angel, for the events. What's the name of the events series?
I'm trying to unmute, my bad. Yeah, so it's the Just Golden Connection event. Sorry.
Yeah, because
Just
that's
Golden
new.
Connection event. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's new. So that's why I'm like, I want to make sure I say it correctly. So when you're experiencing a Just Golden connection, what is the promise? And is it repeatable? And is a new person and another new person and another new person going to experience the same or similar thing every time? If the answer is no, that's a problem, y'all. That's a problem. And that's why you may be looking at your past 3 years, if you're in the thick of part-time or full-time entrepreneurship, or even in your job. That's why you can't get that raise at the level that you deserve. That's why you settled when you took on the role and found out somebody else made more. You didn't advocate for yourself. You didn't make sure that you knew the window or in range of negotiation for you to benefit. So when I'm speaking of, and I see comments, so I want to make sure I'm engaging with you. And David, I want to hear from you because I appreciate the chat. But if you can say something, let us know. Lillian Leach, she said a PhD. Tell me why you ended up mentioning that, because if you just accomplished your PhD, congratulations. Corey, hey Corey. Corey said lack of intentionality, huge. Fractured focus, huge. Confidence, we're talking about that today. Lamika, we're talking about that today. Fear, failure, focus, time management. That's why you're here. Angela Russell said, when the vision is bigger than your drive, it's frightening, y'all. We're not just afraid of failure. We're afraid of the responsibility that comes with success. God did not download these wild ideas into you because you can't do it. You're on a journey to figure it out. It's yours for a reason. David, he said, I drank the Kool-Aid flavor that kept me relying on others for a paycheck instead of trusting that I am enough. And thank you, Angel. She said, Just Golden Connection event every 4th Thursday. Look, shameless plug, baby. The link is there. Look, get with it. Get in soon. Chrissy said, she said, congratulations to someone. So maybe that was for the PhD. But let me stay within the realm of our time, y'all. So if you know that goal setting is crucial to your success, guess what? Sometimes people like to say, I need to be more motivated. Why do you need to be motivated for the thing that you want for you? How does that make sense? You want that. So it's not that you need to be motivated. You need to activate what you already know. A lot of times we know what to do. We just need to coexist with other people to hold us accountable, to share resources, to make sure, sometimes you think that vision is clear, but I don't know if you all remember that Windex commercial. It got to be so clear that it's glass and you bump your head on it. You're like, damn, that was glass. Like, it got to be that clear. There's no space for error. So increasing motivation, I'm sorry, I'm not necessarily an advocate of that. I'm an advocate of understanding, you know what it is that you want to achieve. It's your responsibility to keep you driven. And the only way you can get closer to your destination is by activating what you already know. And if you don't understand it, we got too many technological tools and resources to give us the play-by-play and have a conversation with someone else to make sure we're going about this the right way, ethically. We have the right shortcuts in place, because guess what? When you have direction and you just recalibrate that motivation that is already in you because you have goals in the first place versus dreams, because goals have a plan. A dream is you just wishing, in a sense, sometimes, because I love dreams. I had a debate with an attorney a while back, and we bumped heads about what dreams were, in a sense. And he was just like, I disagree with you. So this is what I'm really trying to get at, y'all. Your goals help you to prioritize your time and energy. This day, you decided to be here, for those of you who can stick around to the end, you decided to be here from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. to just get a pour today, to just fill your cup today. So I don't know what the rest of your day looks like. Maybe it's going to be fun. Maybe you're going to relax. Maybe you're resting right now. Maybe you don't even hear what I'm saying right now. And I said, well, that was a choice, and that's okay. I'm okay with it because I'm going to get something out of this because I'm building more relationships. I'm strengthening how I go after my own goals. And I hope that I'm giving somebody something for them to rethink and review the stuff that they have in front of them, so you can ask yourself, how can I do better? Which is ultimately going to enhance your focus. Priorities. I'm about to get into that. Building resilience. Fanny just said, even when it gets tough, I'm still going to do this. I work with a woman named, some of you know her, some of you may not, and some of you can check her out. Her name is Titani Harris. She just climbed Machu Picchu. That is 26 miles up. 4 nights, 3 days, no shower, 26 miles up. Do y'all understand what goes on as you go higher and higher and the air thins out and you got to be hydrated? Your body is aching. You questioning, why the hell did I convince myself to do something like this? But when you remember why it's important for you to get up there, it's about the view. It's about what it means to you. It's about being the evidence of what's possible. Only so few people are ever going to accomplish such a thing. I don't know if I got it in me to do it. That'll be the ultimate. I'll jump out some planes. I don't know if I'm climbing. I don't know. But when you hang with eagles say, you are already wired to do this. You just got to train. You just, like when if you don't know me, I walked the Bud Billiken parade last year as an adult, as a 40-year-old mom of a soon to be 20-year-old. And I'm like, I'm so excited. I did not know I was not equipped physically. And it was only 2 miles, but it felt so much longer because you got thousands of people commit. Hey, you're passing out stuff. The energy, I didn't have a proper breakfast that morning. I didn't hydrate properly. When I got to that finish line, I could have passed out somewhere, y'all. My body told me, in a sense, that I disrespected it because I was hungry. And when I tried to eat, I was nauseous. And my body just wouldn't receive me trying to feed myself because I had a goal to walk the parade, but I was motivated as well. But I didn't focus on prioritizing how to fuel myself up to have the energy that period of time. So the resilience, I'm a finisher. I did finish. But what did I do when that parade was over with? Normally I would stick around and network. I took my tail home. I got under the covers. I got some liquid. The food I bought a couple of hours prior, I put it in the microwave and I came back to the food and my body was ready to receive it. Because now it's like, okay, you didn't put some respect on our name now. Now you deserve to eat. So I hope that I'm speaking to somebody on that, because we just jump into stuff because it looks like a great idea, but we don't think about the planning of what it takes to see it all the way through. So when I was speaking of bankable barriers, our most common, there are plenty, but the most common that I wanted to highlight today was procrastination. And it's you putting off the thing that's uncomfortable because of fear of failure, rejection. Think about it like when it comes to a certain bill and the bill collector calling, you just like, I ain't got it. I don't have it. But if you have the phone call, you can work something out. We just pressing in when really there's a solution. We're procrastinating. And then guess what happens? We continue to procrastinate. And what happens? It goes to collections. Now we got a bigger problem. Oh man, why my credit just dropped by 57 points? That call that you weren't answering, that problem that you didn't face head on. Now you're trying to grow a business, but you ain't even getting your house in order. So that means somebody's going to see that. I'm speaking to somebody. I'm speaking to myself in some instances. Procrastination, fear of failure, lack of resources. So stop putting off the things that are most important for you to achieve this goal. The risks due to fear of not succeeding. What's the worst that could really happen? For real. What's the worst that could happen? Somebody want to tell me, like, what's the worst thing that can happen other than you not having enough means to keep a roof over your head. Illness, I want to hear from y'all. Go ahead, Brandon. What's the worst?
The worst thing that could happen is obviously you attain everything you want to attain because that's what scares you the most, right?
Hey, anybody want to chime in on that? Maybe. And I'll say something.
That's a real one.
I will say something about that because some feedback I got from a post a little while ago. I shared that I experience survivor's remorse. So every time I accomplish something else, I feel like I'm leaving somebody behind, and it hurts. It hurts. It's a very painful thing because I'm like, we're supposed to do this together, but that's not their goal. That's not their assignment. They're not committed to playing any role in it, but they sure do want the fruits of the labor, though. Folks really want to sit at the table, but they don't want to set it. So the reality is that survivor's remorse, I honestly think it's a little bit of an excuse for our fear. Because guess what? It's not about leaving people behind, because when you get there, those who are willing, you can by you being evidence of what's possible, you'll be amazed at who you influence to climb to meet you when you put your hand down or send somebody for them. It's levels to this, y'all. Everybody isn't going to be able to coexist we need tiers. That's why we had case systems long ago. That's why the only thing that I hate about mankind, one key thing, is that all human beings don't have across our planet, I'll just say across our planet that we know about, all their basic needs. I hate that we live on a planet where every human being doesn't at least have food, clothes, shelter. I got a problem with that. So we have a responsibility to thrive so that the thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people that we impact thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of other people. That's our responsibility if we're here right now. Chrissy, I didn't want to miss you. Go ahead, baby.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that survivor remorse, that's a real thing. But I was just gonna more so say something related to something that you said back based off of, I love how you laugh through the pain and our fears, but it's true all at the same time. And it's just like how you present it is almost like a tap on your forehead, wake up, like hello.
Yeah, that's good. So here, y'all, we talked enough about the problems, but I'm big on profitable solutions. So the immediate solutions that I just want you to think about as we identify our bankable barriers is, how do I break this down? Who do I trust to bounce this off of, to make sure I am clear, to make sure I'm covering all bases. I've identified all of the resources that I need. And am I stretching myself? Because sometimes we be pushing ourselves, we be stressing about things that are easy to accomplish. You ain't even challenged yourself yet. That's what you're afraid of. It got to make you a little more uncomfortable than that. So breaking the goals down into smaller tasks with other people to be like, hey, also consider this, also consider that. And then they hold you accountable. Game changer. Seek support. Mentors, groups. Look, Angel has a group. Success Junkie has a group. Mike has a group. If you got a group, drop your group in the chat. Like, we have the resources and the ecosystems, y'all. Don't be afraid to ask for that assistance. And also, when you're trying to reach out to busy people, don't give up because you just reached out one time and they didn't get back to you. Sometimes it takes, and we have to humble ourselves. Sometimes it does take 3 to 5 touch points for them to be like, man, I missed this, but I would love to help. Like, don't let your ego block your exponential growth. And flexibility, like, just be willing. Maybe the goal, you're not reaching it because that's not the assignment. Maybe you need to reassess what it is that you're going after. I don't know what, you may be doing it because somebody else told you to do it and it don't even light your soul on fire. So continue I know these are like simple concepts, y'all, but if we're not implementing them, they're not. They're simple. It's like, oh, I know that, but are you doing it? Because we can know it all day. Are you doing it? Are you implementing? So Fellas, I want to thank you all so much because I was on a call with this organization like 2 weeks ago, and a lot of the ladies showed up. So I apologize for no male representation right here in advance. And that's something you got to think about that sometimes. So I'm really happy for the gentleman that showed up today. But this message applies to all of us. So building self-awareness helps you understand, like, we got to identify, what am I great at? What comes natural to me? What can I do with my eyes closed? What can I do if I don't pick up any other book? This is in me. Where do I fall short? Who's better than me at this, to the point that if I align with this individual, we'll be a dynamic duo. So that together we can make better decisions and build and improve upon new relationships to help us reach our goals. So the blitz of this, my favorite things right now, I am always writing down my thoughts and feelings. I am always writing down what it is I want to accomplish. I love that Steve Harvey said a long time ago, disregard how you may or may not feel about Steve Harvey. This is really powerful. He said, list 300 things that you want to accomplish in your life. It is very difficult to list 300 things that you want to accomplish in your life. When you start to get to the first 100, it gets, your whole body tenses up a little bit, because you're like, damn, like what else do I want to accomplish? Here's the hack. The hack is to go online and see what other people want to accomplish and see where your inspiration is. It's a whole lot of things you can do in this lifetime. So when you start to write it and write it over again and over again and over again, I have I got it right here. Let me get it. I got a document. I think this is my list of 300, and I'm not about to go through this, but what I am going to do is I'm going to tell you that I always come back to this document to see everything that I accomplished on this list. So I'm not going, where is it? Yeah. So, and I'll be making up stuff. So just all of these are all things listed out. I wrote all of this is 3 rows of all of the things I said I want to accomplish in a lifetime. And what I did was I came back on here and I think it's another page. Yeah. So I don't even know how many it is because I keep adding. But if you have not done this, this is a game changer. Because when you look back at it, you'd be like, I don't even want to do that no more. Or I did that already. Or let me challenge myself. Like, when I did like my first $10,000 month, my first $20,000 month, I'm like, oh, I ain't touched 50 yet. I ain't had that 50K month yet. But that means I got to grow my business differently, because I'm not going to make 50,000. My team and I are, if that makes sense. So when you start to challenge yourself to be like, now it's like building a muscle. You start to say those things. You're like, where's one that, like, I remember I wanted to do a TEDx, been there, done that, hated that experience. I do not recommend TEDx Rush for anyone who wants to do TEDx speaking. Look, Mike knows the hell that I went through with them. It was not a great experience at all, but I do want to hit the stage. I did write on here, you got to be more specific with your goals. I said I wanted to give a TEDx, but I didn't specifically say on the stage, standing on the red circle. I wasn't specific enough. So I reached the goal, but it wasn't exactly the goal that I wanted to reach. And that talk is titled, The Success of Trauma, How Challenges Make Champions. So it happened, but the way it happened, I don't recommend. So write this down. Like, I'm talking about, write it over and over again. Look at it over and over again. Ask yourself, what have I missed? Have I identified all of the steps for me to reach this goal? But it's a whole lot. I still haven't done a Broadway play, and I've been in New York countless times. Haven't done, so many things on here. Vacation fund, bake a beautiful cake. I don't bake cakes, y'all, but I want to bake one. Like, it's all kind of just random stuff on here. Attend a Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to that. Like, I have all of those things inside of this document, and I just reference it to remind me, keep your goals in front of you, you all. My son, who is 19 right now, I really love that the meditation, since he was about 16, 17, on his own, he just used to sit, put music in his ears before he started his school day. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he would just zone out to set the tone for the kind of day that he wanted to have. And he graduated high school with a 4.7 GPA without, like, he never came to mom and dad for anything. He knew what he wanted. And we just supported him. We're not his parents anymore. We are his parents genetically, but we're his coaches now. My job is just to coach him. He be sending me all these TikToks and stuff. And I'll just be like, and I think I get on his nerves because anything he sends me, I'm like, you should consider doing that as a career path. He's like, Mom, I was just sharing you information. He's like, I don't want to be I don't want to do this. I was just sharing a fact with you. But then I go down this rabbit hole of who can I introduce him to? What else can I do? We got to do that for ourselves. We got to be our first edifier of our names and our likenesses, y'all. It's 11:25, so we're almost done. Personality assessment. If you know me and if you don't know me, there's one thing you're going to know about me if we ever meet. I'm going to ask you what's your Myers-Briggs personality type. And if you don't know it, get to know it. 16personalities.com. Take that assessment. 16personalities.com. This assessment is everything. It highlights your strengths, your weaknesses, suggested career paths, what type of parent you are, if you're a parent or going to be in the future. Please do it again, because sometimes it does change. It highlights your relationships intimately. I'm talking about everything. And then once you know what it is, you can even Google people in history that have the same personality type. And then you're like, oh man, that's why I like him. That's why I like her. That's why, when you're able to amplify your strengths, you can better put yourself in position to outsource or hire or barter your weaknesses. Stop. I do want you to improve where you fall short, but I would rather you align with other people who are better than you at the things that you don't do well. So for me, I'm an ideator. I'm a connector. I love strategy. I'm a strategist. However, I'm not great at project management, Gantt charts, and so the micro tasks and things that I just mentioned today. I know that those things are important. But if I depended on myself to see it through, I wouldn't reach my goals. I have other people who keep me on track for those micro things that have to be done. So an online business manager, like Angel, a master project manager, you need somebody to keep you honest. Otherwise, you just hopefully, you just have something you would like to accomplish if it magically just happens someday. That's crazy. Enneagrams is another one for you to explore. I like those as well, but I'm obsessed with Myers-Briggs. But I wanted to just add something else just to give people who have done Myers-Briggs another option. Clifton's strengths. So many assessments. It's so many assessments that you can do. But in a nutshell, you all, when it comes to self-awareness, like really understand your feelings, understand the way that you perceive things, and be more open to aligning yourself with other people who are polar. Some of the times, the people you don't like or care for are the people you need. What you don't like about them makes you uneasy because your weakness is their strength. We have to be self-aware enough. It's called heightened self-awareness. You got to have a high level of self-awareness to understand that. I work with some people I really don't like that, but I need them. I need them. I'm like, oh, you get on my nerves, but let's get this done. Let's get this done. So an example, I just said journaling for 10 minutes a day can help you identify recurring patterns. So I have these, at Five Below, they have some really cool, especially for the ladies, but they have a lot of masculine journaling books on Amazon and all sorts of places online. Just for a week, just keep writing what's important to you for 10 to 14 days, or what you need to get done. Or, it's going to feel so good to knock certain things off the chopping block. Cause you're like, oh, I ain't got to keep saying that. I have a journal called Yes, You Can. It says things I need to do, things that I keep forgetting. Like we get forgetful. It's really, I just don't want to do it, but I got to do it. I'll write it about 7 times. I'll look back 7 days and I'm like, dang, I still ain't did that. And then I'm like, well, how important is it to me though? So until it becomes like really important, sometimes it doesn't immediately get done, full transparency. So that emotional intelligence piece that I was just referring to, better understanding your emotions, self-regulating, like managing yourself. Sometimes people who used to trigger me don't trigger me anymore because I now have a level of empathy and compassion for where they're coming from sometimes. So when you change, people change how they behave around you. Let me just say that. So the things that used to get me all riled up, it takes a lot to ruffle my feathers. Because I'm over here I'm over here assessing you and what kind of day you had, or what I want to get in your business and see why you thought it was okay to step to me like that today. But I'm not even gonna be aggressive or nasty. I'm actually gonna show some concern and try to better understand what's going on, because you might be under a stressful situation. You might be having relationship problems. You might be having problems at your job. What's going on ain't got nothing to do with me, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of that so that we can focus on what it is we're attempting to accomplish right now. So once again, with motivation, that's your personal drive to achieve goals. You shouldn't be motivated for something that's personal. You should be activated and learning how did other people accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish? What did they go through? How did they? And I bet you're going to see the same things I'm saying today. They had mentors. They wrote. They broke it down into easily digestible steps. They reevaluated themselves, and so many other things. So real quick, social skills. I can't stress this enough. Ask yourself, what type of people do you need in your life, and what type of people need you in their life, so that you can be more magnetic and attract those folks, because those are going to be the people to edify your name. Those are going to be your ambassadors, your affiliates. Those are going to be your testimonials. I'm talking about in whatever area of your life, your career, your business, or personal. You want other people to put respect and success on your name. And the benefits of that is better stress management, improved quality of relationships, and enhanced leadership abilities, whether that's as an entrepreneur, an employee, a spouse, a friend, wherever you lead in your life. Profitable prioritization. If you take care of business, it's going to reflect in your bank account. What's urgent versus important is really crucial to distinguish, you all. So you got to do all of these things, but what has the greatest penalty? What is the most impactful? What is the most profitable? What gives you the most joy? So to-do lists, if you don't want to journal, if you don't want to be like, dear self, or, you don't want to write letters to yourself, this, that, just keep, whether it's in your phone, whether it's you writing it down, everything that you need to do, and start to keep reorganizing the importance of it. What's urgent, what's important. Because some things are going to be urgent and not important, and some things are going to be important and not urgent. It's up for you to, it's on you to decide. Because if you got that goal in front of you, I'm going to take care of what's urgent. Like Fanny said earlier today, we missed the opportunity to prioritize it was urgent for her to take action on the things she really wanted to do, but it was important for me to give her more details. I didn't know she was going to pull the trigger that fast. Missed opportunity, but we're going to go back. We're going to debrief. We're going to perfect it, and she's going to close. Slam dunk. And so I got you, Fanny. Prioritize by impact. Focus on the tasks that will have the most significant impact. As you change more, be intentional about whose lives you want to change. Make time to mentor somebody else. Just because you're not where you want to be, your biggest blessing is another person that you impact. Who can you pour into? I learned so much from my son. He'd be like, oh, mom, you millennials. Like, he just be like, there's a better way to do this. And then he shows me, I'm like, well, I should hire you. He'd be like, no. He'd be like, I just wanted you to know. I think it's the coolest thing, because generationally, if I can learn from an elder and my child, if I can learn from somebody ahead of me and behind me, just in age and experiences, imagine how much powerful you and impactful and profitable you'll be across the board, y'all. And most importantly, it's a long time coming for me on this one, and I still struggle with this, but it's a high priority in my day-to-day now. If possible, delegate the tasks that don't require your direct involvement. Serita is going to take care of what's urgent. That's personal. What's important and less exciting for me, if I can get somebody else to do it, know that I'm going to get somebody else to do it. Know that, because that is not the revenue generating activities. That is not the impact generating activity, if that's my priority today. I've had countless calls, texts, all sorts of things right now. My undivided attention right now is here. This is urgent to me, and it's important to me. And that's why I said yes. I saw you, Fanny. So real quick, y'all, just for the sake of me honoring us being here today. I want to make sure I said what I wanted to say to you all, and I want to turn it to you. So this real quick, in a nutshell, man, we got so many things commanding attention on our time. You cannot really effectively multitask. No matter how much you believe you can, you really can't. I'm sitting next to something that was a gift at an event that I went to. I can turn this little box on 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and I can just set it. And then it allows for me to do things in those blocks of time based on what's urgent versus important. You can, so stop trying to do all of the things, because you're not going to give people your undivided attention. Nothing else has my attention right now. I'm here for you all right now. So dividing your attention, you're going to get a lower quality presentation. You're not going to get my best. Unnecessary meetings. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Oh, we should chat. Why should we chat? What does what we're chatting about aligns with the trajectory that I'm on, or the trajectory that you're on that I want to help you get to? A lot of times we be saying yes to the things we should be saying no to. And no just means next opportunity. Don't be urgent for other things. Don't treat other people's important things as your urgency. Seriously. And I get so serious about this because it's too many things that calls on our attention. And I love social media. I'm chatty patty a lot of times, but what people don't know is I do it in a block of time. I come on, I'm doing this for 15 minutes, and then I'm going on about my business until maybe another time I decide to get on. So digital distractions, whether they're social, emails, and non-essential apps, get rid of them. Have certain designated times to tend to them. Every time you get a ping for an email does not mean I got to respond to this email. Ain't nobody gonna die, and if they do, it ain't nothing you can do when they die. Like, it's nothing you can do. Like, if it is life or death, what were you gonna do? Like, seriously. So some solutions are just batching similar tasks. You know, if there's a time that you want to do heavy communication, I'm gonna do some social media, emails, and I'm gonna play around with blah 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 for this period of time. I'm gonna limit that social media use unless I'm strategically on here to grow my brand or my business. I'm talking about strategically. You sharing and doing all, that's not strategy all the time. That's just you showing your people love. You on there avoiding something you're procrastinating from. It's not valuable. And boundaries. I have been ironclad on my boundaries more now than ever. And people can take it however they want. I am focused on something right now. If we can't align, or if we're not aligned, I just can't tend to it right now. I got to honor what it is you are going after. So learn to say no and be okay with it. N-O with a period at the end. And it don't have to be no. It can be not right now. It can be, let's make some time for that. I'm available a week from now, something like that. Folks are going to think you're whatever they think. That's none of your business. That is none of your business. So learn to say no to things that just don't align with what's urgent or important to you, is what I really want to say. Let me stay within what the bounds of this communication. And I want to see these comments. So I'm going to scrub these when I'm done, because I'm about to wrap up. So I shared my story earlier, pieces of it, because we've all been through stuff, y'all. We're all going through and growing through different things. And I just wanted to just let you all know that your breakthrough, whatever that looks like, it's bankable. But you have to be aware of yourself. You have to be willing to have a better understanding of the people around you and the people that you attract. You got to be clear on what those goals are and have a game plan that you're going to commit to execute whatever is required of you to reach those goals. Your time has to be managed and respected to make these things come to fruition. I was so stressed yesterday because I planned my day, but I didn't wake up at the time I said I knew I needed to. If I had those 2 extra hours, all of the fires that came my way in the middle of the night that I woke up to, that I had to add to an already busy day, it wouldn't have had me flustered. I disrespected myself, even though I didn't know those things were going to be on my agenda. While I was being frustrated and things like that, the other things that were on my checklist before I woke up yesterday, they got done because I delegated. They got done because somebody had time and they're like, girl, you don't have to take care of that now. I did it. I know that was on your to-do, but I took care of it for you. It relieved me to focus on the new things that were more urgent and more important that I had no idea I was walking into. Oh, so Fanny, that's why you didn't hear from me yesterday. And it was my granny's 88th birthday. So in a nutshell, I'm wrapping up. I really hope that the candid nature of this dialogue was fruitful to you. I would love some quick feedback before we conclude, because I believe Shauntee is coming back in a few moments. And because we have a few more minutes before we wrap this up completely. But can you guys give me either some feedback, some insights, ahas, if you haven't spoken? Can you guys just, kind of let me know if this was valuable to you? Anyone, whether it's via chat or a comment. Just take your mic off. Just you can unmic.
Hi there.
It's always valuable. Oh, somebody else speaking. Go ahead.
Especially a new person, that'll be great. Especially if I was a perfect stranger to you before today.
I'll go if that's okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go speak, please.
Okay. Serita, I just started following you, I don't know, maybe about a week ago. And I just happened to see that you had this Zoom on today. I had no idea what to expect. You said a few things earlier that were really penetrating. I needed this pour today very much.
Who's speaking right now? Because I don't see your name for some reason.
Oh, I'm sorry. Joy Tribble.
Hey, Joy, you've been showing mad love. I can't wait to connect. We'll connect some more after this. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, no, thank you.
I've seen you.
Okay, thank you. I'm a little. It's making me a little emotional because I just didn't anticipate where I was. I guess a little shallow, and this kind of took me a little bit deeper, and so I needed this. You're tapping on some areas of if I can just get a teeny bit transparent,
please,
of pride that I'm dealing with emotionally. And so this is breaking up some of that foul ground. And so really this comment was just to admonish you and say thanks for just showing up and being totally transparent. It's helping to fill my cup. So I really appreciate this.
Well, I would love to provide overflow. So if you could send me a DM, Joy, I'll reach out to you so we can have a more us alignment. Thank you so much, because you have no idea like what it takes sometimes to show up, even when you commit to something and other things happen and you're like, no, this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now, and nothing else matters until it's done. So thank I needed that more than you know. So thank you so much.
We needed each other in this moment. So thank you so much.
I needed all 18 plus me of us right now.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate
you. And to be continued, please, let's connect offline.
I will. Thank you.
Hey, anybody else? I know Mike, you and Mike knows me, but I think we always continue to water each other's soil. So Mike, I do appreciate anything you have to say. I saw you come off the mic.
Oh, that actually was perfect. Joy, thank you for doing that, because that's why we do this. Every time Serita opens up a room, people connect, people have breakthroughs. It's been several times that we literally have been able to help people find exactly what their God-given purpose is. Each time for me, when I'm going through what I'm going through, she speaks, I'm like, okay, cool, I'm not crazy. That's what I was thinking too. Then she comes with a solution too. And that's for me. I'm always solution driven on what, I push. So that's the reason anytime I see something that pops up that Serita is doing, and if I'm available to do it, I'm there. And, one time she was like, wait a minute, are you in Hawaii? I'm like, yeah, like
you were.
I'm getting off the plane. I scheduled my flight to be able to make sure that I could attend, because I wanted to do the completion, because that's one of my weaknesses. I'll start some very dope stuff, but the completion is never there. And usually what happens is always the same cycle. You'll start something, someone sees the vision, they join in, then they disappear for whatever reason it is, and you didn't expect that. Or as we get to these different levels, because what I was going to speak on earlier, is I put it with how we go through school. Even though I don't condone school from taking all our money and don't deliver what they promise, but from what we learn from it is how I see business as you go higher and higher within your business. So in grammar school, you're based off of where you lived and what your mother put you through and stuff like that, or your circumstances, things like that. Then in high school, when I went, it was based off of your zip codes, or if you did have it where you were gifted or whatever the case may be, or people had the money to put you in certain schools, but it was still controlled. Once you got to college, you just had this, where am I going to go if I'm not going to go, if I'm doing community, like different things. And now you have to make choices that you never were prepared for. And it's the same thing in business. It's like the higher you go and the more that you learn, the more people you're exposed to, the more decisions you have to make. And in most cases, you're just fumbling through this thing. And then, of course, associates, bachelors, whatever the case may be, do you want to go for the doctorate or whatever the case may be? And so all I'm getting at is this point is these groups are important because the more experiences that you have, it's easier for you to make better informed decisions because you've actually been exposed to what's out there. So in these particular situations, once you find some type of alignment where you feel like, oh, this person has reached you. So I'm glad, Joy, you said something, because that's the foundation. Because if you're just talking to people, oh, I heard this before, but this, that, whatever, but someone makes you emotional, you know there's a connection there. And it may not be this week, this month. Some people that are helping me at this current moment came from 18 years ago. So just stay consistent in whatever it is, and it's going to happen. Not in your time, but in God's time.
And I want to make everyone aware we have maybe a good 3 more minutes before someone pops back on behalf of our lovely organization that has powered this Sizzle and Shine session. So anybody else before we make this transition, and please connect with me wherever, we're both mutually available online. I would love to see how I can be a resource in the near future. And I'm looking at the comments. I wish I could get this chat. Like please, y'all, if you guys can save this chat, I would love to see the chat. Yeah, any other feedback? Because they have to say a few more things before we conclude. So I just want to, we're perfectly on time where we're supposed to be. And I appreciate you all. Okay, so I don't know if Shauntee is coming back or Tandalea. Oh, there's Shauntee. Hey. But I always so I'm huge on respecting time. I can't be here today talking about time management and not honoring our run of show. So it's exactly 2 minutes to 11:50, which I guess we just have 2 extra minutes if you want to get everything out now, Shauntee.
Oh, it's cool. We honestly have time. It's only going to take me a few minutes to wrap up, and so it's been really rich in the Zoom room today. So you can take an extra few minutes too.
And I actually was going to ask for that, but I know the last it wasn't a private presentation. I think everyone was on like a hard stop schedule, so I always like to honor it. And if I'm given, the opportunity, I always welcome it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say you can go an extra 5 to 7 minutes is fine. And then I just got a few wrap up things.
Okay. May I have, you guys got an extra 5 minutes to stick around? If I definitely want you guys to give the green light. So feel free to, a reaction or a chat. And then I'll just share just a few things to conclude this. I'm very grateful for this opportunity for a couple of reasons, you all. A lot of times we are called to go in a different direction with our businesses and brands. And I have been in struggle mode responding to the calling. And I'm not saying this in a spiritual sense. I'm just saying in general, we all have unique assignments, and we learn those assignments very, very early on in life. And sometimes people teach us how to run away from it, how to disrespect or dishonor it. And I'm just really grateful to finally have a full circle moment where I put more respect on my own name. So what that looks like is helping people to first and foremost frame their narrative. So that's why, Joy, I'm very grateful for what you said about pride. There's something that I do, and in full transparency, my background is industrial and organizational psychology, relational group and organizational communication, and integrated marketing communications. I know that might be gibberish to some of us, but relational group and organizational communication is just like it sounds. I can help people effectively communicate at any level, no matter how small or large the groups are. The industrial and organizational psych side of things is understanding the behavior of people as workers and employees and employers, which is extremely beneficial to corporations and small businesses. And then the integrated marketing communications piece is sometimes there are a lot of ways to get people's attention when you're building a thing or you're looking to get more visibility or awareness for your profit, your brand, or like your personal brand or your business. So what I want to highlight about that is you need a mix of marketing. You might need promos, you might need ads, you might need to be on stages, podcasts, articles, you need to write a book, you need a course. It's so many different things that you may need to do to amplify yourself out of all of the noise, because there's so many people out here saying that they do what you do, but they don't have your story, boo. They don't have your breakthroughs. They don't have the challenges that you may face now, or you have the blueprint, green print, pink print, purple print, black print, whatever we want to call it, from your past that creates a cheat sheet for their success. So me responding to that calling is helping people put those experiences into words. So what I do is I help you, I look through your whole life. You have to be willing to tell me the beautiful and ugly parts of you. It stays with me. There, I sign NDAs as needed. Most don't ask for it because I operate from a high level of trust and integrity. I know a lot of folks' business, y'all. Probably too much sometimes. The purpose of that is for me to help them find the gold mines inside of their breakthroughs. So once I'm able to frame their narrative and help them confidently and competently communicate that, then I help them develop their bankable assets. Once you know what your story is and you feel confident communicating your story, you need supportive assets to make people believe in what you're saying. You need proof. You need social proof. So I help them identify all of those things. Maybe you've never done a photo shoot. Maybe you've never developed a one page or a speaker overview. All of these different things. I either do it or I get someone else to do it. And lately it's been more get someone else to do it as I'm easing over to fully operating and success matchmaker. The third part to this is, let me say this correctly, launching. So a lot of times you can't successfully launch because you don't even know how to communicate the launch, and you don't have the things that look good and you don't always need things that look good, just for the record. So sometimes launch comes before assets. Sometimes people are like, no, I'm an expert, I don't need all of that. That is absolutely fine. So you're not required to have all of those assets, but it does help if you're trying to exist in the digital marketplace. So launching ends up being a high priority. So Fanny, she briefly spoke on that for a moment. And then it's brand marketing. Branding is the experience. So it's like this. You can tell people all day that you're dope, but branding is other people saying it. I had several peers, clients, mentees show up because they saw this flyer, and people I didn't get to know yet. Something made them say yes, not just tied to the organization. And that's a good thing, because this is going to happen to all of you in different ways if you step in it and own it. So the brand marketing piece is, you have all of the other pieces. You got your narrative, you got your assets, you got what it is that you're launching. It is crystal clear. You've identified all of those things. So then it's the marketing, and we have to find the best marketing mix. So your marketing mix is all of the different ways that you can show up online. Maybe you have an ad budget. Maybe you want to come up with some cool promotions. Maybe you want to partner with some people and collaborate. I mean, it's endless. It's endless. It's my job to narrow in on what's the best approach for getting the word out. And then last but not least, I think I said 4 points: narrative, assets, launch, marketing. And then last but not least is You get all of those things. Now, when I say all, I literally mean all. So if you don't have the assets, you got to have the assets, because when I become, the last piece is me becoming your personal business matchmaker. That means that I bring your business to you. So when you have all of those things, I'm making the calls, I'm building the relationships, I'm opening the door and closing the deals alongside you or on behalf of you with the legal support to get you get you great deals. And I'm really, really excited about that. And I'm able to do that because of social currency. So I'm done. Like that's the short of it. I got a 5-point take your brand to the bank framework that is fully launching probably in less than 60 days. And I'm really over the moon ecstatic to just kind of unleash this other part, because it's what I've been doing since I was a little girl. I've always been a connector. I've always shared ideas. I've always loved collaborating. I'll always love sharing storytelling and writing. So for me to put all of these things together in a way that I'm able to propel other people forward exponentially is priceless, to say the least. So I'm done. I'm gonna pass it back to Shauntee. Connect with me anywhere online, and it will be my absolute pleasure to figure out, where we can be mutually beneficial resources to one another. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you so much. So if we could give her a virtual round of applause, or you can drop your emoji of your choice of how this has impacted you. When I say all the gems, I mean all the gems. I got convicted in this whole conversation because I've been sitting on a lot. So I will be contacting you soon to get these things off the ground for sure. But thank you so much. So to wrap up, this is part 9, I believe, of this series of about 12 sessions that we have called Sizzle and Shine, powered through Touch Gift Foundation. So I drop a couple of links in the chat. One is for let me see the first one. The first one is a survey. And so they will give you more insight about that, because I know you asked for verbal feedback, but we may be able to provide you with this feedback as well. So we have that in the chat. So if you fill everything out and then just go down to Serita Love, when you scroll through the speakers, we can properly assign this feedback to her. So really great. And then the second one is the invitation to the rest of the series. This has been a really powerful series.
It has.
For us all. Yes. So please come back. We have a dynamic panel that is scheduled for September 7th, which is the next time that we will meet. So if you all things leadership development, all things skill building, just all the things, we are closing the summer out really strong in this way. So thank you all so much for joining. I believe Sarita put all her information. Did you put your information in the chat?
Yeah, success@seritalove.com is the best way, for direct outreach right now. And Success Junkie anywhere. So LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you type Success Junkie, you'll find me. And I'm responsive, so I respond.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shauntee. And Shauntee, I just want to highlight that when I hosted for you all 2 weeks ago, we shouted out your sponsors and partners. Did you want to?
Yes. I'm so sorry about that. Yes.
I'm big on the brand stuff. I'm like,
absolutely. Absolutely. So the Chicago Fund for Safe and Peaceful Communities is sponsoring this, as well as Southland Rise, Success Junkie, of course, and then Metro Board, long name, Metropolitan Board of the Chicago Urban League is also sponsoring this. So each session is sponsored by different sponsors, so which is really great and powerful in itself. So follow all of those entities on social media as well. Thank you
so much. This was amazing. I hope everyone has a phenomenal Saturday, and can't wait to see what's next with this series and just everything you all got going on over there. So can't wait to do something in person. Just wanted to say that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, in the winter for sure. We have a winter series that's coming up. The summer was kind of hard. We tried a couple of times in person for the summer.
Well, I will sponsor space at Willis Tower when you guys are ready for something that we can collaborate on. So
we'll be ready. We ready.
Down.
For sure.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one, everybody.